Okay, we're here at the pump station, and this pump right here is responsible for providing the water and fertilizer to the crops that are out there in the drip field. This is drip line irrigation, and what you have, and I want to showcase this, is that this pulley right here is all custom made. It's not something you can just buy off the shelf. And they're using this pulley to turn this pump with a air conditioner style clutch on the front to lock that pump in so it can rotate. And most of you guys are familiar with this in the farming world, but I want to let you know this is, number one, it's dangerous. Number two, there's no protection if a belt gets thrown or somebody gets their pant leg stuck in it or whatever. It's not safe, obviously. But the most important thing is these things you can't just buy on the shelf when they go bad or break. You have to make them. And along with the bracket that's down low here, this pump is a cast iron pump. They're known for corroding out from the inside. They're not really built for the application. So they try to get the gear reduction from the engine's rotation while pumping the big line into this by giving it an overdrive. So figuring out the math of how big the pulley's got to be can be challenging. The other thing, this intake line right here, as you can see, is going to a C-chest that we manufacture. This is something that we just started, and it's been working out really good, and I want to explain it. There's a 2-inch line that's coupled to this C-chest that is the intake line, and it traditionally comes from the fertilizer tank. But next to the fertilizer tank, he has a Y fitting installed where he can put in his pesticides or pest control liquid and inject that down the tape line system without having to reprime the pump. He just opens up the valve, can send it to the box can burp the air out. The pump doesn't know anything different, it just knows there's liquid in there, and he doesn't have to worry about priming it. And that's been a really saver in dealing with headaches there. So that's something we added here. And then when we show you the other system here in a little bit, we'll show you how we improve the Hooker 1-inch high flow pump into the system and got rid of this whole pulley system and clutch system and cast iron pump. We went to a glass-filled nylon housing, and it was purposely built for this application for drip line irrigation. Okay, we're at Bedner Farms in Jupiter, Florida, and I wanted to show you that the 1-inch pump that replaced that belt-driven pump is right here. This pump is capable of putting in 23 gallons a minute while the drip line is at pressure of 45 psi. Same thing, we have this C-chest here where the incoming fertilizer comes in, the pump sucks it out of the box and then discharges it up into this electric valve to prevent anti-siphoning of the fertilizer into the drip line when the pump's off. And then obviously it shows you how many gallons a minute on that scale. The other cool thing is this pump also has variable flow. So if you did want to control it, make less or more, you have the option of controlling the speed of the actual pump. That is set at a final speed, so whenever the pump is applied power, it'll go to that set speed every time. You don't have to adjust it, it's set and forget. And this one also has the same style connector, Anderson plug connector, that runs off the battery of the pump station, diesel pump. So as this pump is running, it has an alternator. The alternator is outputting the current charge into the battery, and then the pump sucks off the battery as it runs. This particular system runs for about, I think it's about 4 or 5 minutes because it pumps in what they need per zone in about 5 minutes, I'll say. It's a pretty simple system. It gets away from the belts and the pulleys. As you can see, if this one needed to have the belt system, you got a radiator in the way. You'd have to make some kind of a custom bracket that would offset way over here to try to get that pulley in to rotate that pump and make some custom brackets, and that's a lot of time and money. And if anything ever went bad, you had to custom make it again. This thing is just mount it up to the ground and send it. It's pretty easy. This right here is a solenoid. This solenoid is basically an electronic switch that signal can be input to close a circuit. This solenoid is particularly receiving a signal from the computer to apply power to the pump to turn on. So this signal wire comes from the computer that used to control the clutch on the front of that belt-driven pump. It now closes this circuit, which then applies power to the pump, and then the pump turns on and distributes the fluid that is through it. This is a fuse. It's a fast blow, 150 amp fuse, I believe, on this unit. So if there was any kind of a failure, a truck or somebody ran over the wire and dead shorted the thing out, it wouldn't melt down. And that's what this is for. And then it's just connected directly to the battery. So you got a fusible link and a solenoid. Just wanted to share that with you.